Hey, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sean. We're back again with another Freestyle Friday sessions. First and foremost, I want to apologize for not being able to drop a video last Friday. I was traveling to another state, therefore I needed to take some needed leave. But nonetheless, I wanted to give you a add-on for this week, Friday Freestyle Friday sessions. I wrote a little poem or writing piece, if you would, that I would like to share that kind of ties in to my topic for today being perspective and understanding the power of the paradigm shift, and if you were to change your focus, how it could affect you differently of that outcome. So yeah, thanks again for your support, all the followers and subscribers. Thank you again. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this content if you like it, as well as I hope that it provides value some way, shape, or form to your life or your weekend. Just thinking about it, meditating on this, and again, if you enjoy it, hit that bell, hit that subscribe button so you can get my latest content every Friday that I release a new clip, okay? So without further ado, let me share with you this little poem I got. I don't know if it's finalized yet. It kind of starts off like a poem, and then it kind of goes into like some sort of like, hey, live your life to the best of your ability, you know. So hear me out. Let me know how you think about it in the comments, okay? Again, this is while I was flying. This all kind of came to me, and that's why I wanted to write this. It's called the 30,000-foot view. Wonderfully winding rivers dance with elegance while harsh concrete roads mimic their majestic ways. Clusters of clouds create a blanket of comfort hugging your timid minds. Slip away into this abyss, only to be awoken by the sounds of an occupied restroom. Flickering lights illuminate the darkest depths while superstructures dominate the rest, creating a circuit board of energy, peace, and chaos all at the same time. At the core, it is much like a heart. It beats, pumping life to the furthest points. But is it overworking? Are we overworking? Memorized by the city lights like flies captivated by a zapper on a hot summer night, I wonder if they regret their sacrifice just before they meet. The superficial stress of economic survival suppress the possibilities of a cultural revival. See, from 30,000 feet, your Tesla looks like a Camry. In your house, I hope it's still a home. From 30,000 feet, you see what truly matters, and you question the direction and wonder who's to blame. 30,000 feet, it all looks the same. The material world begins to fade, so what remains? A life, your life, a dream, your dreams. Pursue every opportunity to possibly be present. For the individual in first class can still hear the distant screams of the crying baby in the back. You trust this pilot with your life in getting you to your destination. So trust yourself with each step you take towards yours. As you descend back to ground zero, your thoughts begin to slip away. For just a moment, you awake your slumber, grab your luggage, and change directions from your destructive path. Then again, you hear the ding. Excuse me, sir. Please fasten your seatbelts. We're about to take off. 30,000 feet by your man, Sean. So yeah, I was, flying, and I start seeing the world from a different perspective, and it started changing some of my mindsets. And I always feel like when I'm small in this world, it kind of gives me a new perspective on what truly matters, right? So like, if I'm around a big body of water or an amazing mountain or just landscape in general, or it happens sometimes when I fly. And when I fly and I look out the window and I see us just, leaving the chaos, leaving the issue, changing perspective. And it kind of reminded me of this book I was reading. Let me get to the page real quick. So it's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. If you haven't seen or read this book, please get it. It's amazing. It goes over particular habits that will change you, your character down to your core, and identify particular flaws that were built in the leadership aspect or leadership realm that's kind of been tested and proven to be faulty. And it really focuses on you as a person and adjusting that. But there's a part where he talks about the power of the paradigm shift. And he goes on to explaining what this paradigm shift is, and it's this perspective. And he gives an analogy or a story base where he's sitting in a train station, and he's traveling from point A to point B. And on this train cart, there's a gentleman sitting to the right of him, clearly the father of this little kid, probably about 5, 6 years old. And the kid is just acting complete mess, right? He's just running around, he's stepping on people's toes, he's smacking out the newspapers of people's hands, and he's just going crazy. To the point where, like, everyone is like, come on, man, like, say something to your child, tell him to stop, do something. It got to a point where the individual told him, like, hey, man, like, if no one's going to say something, I'm going to say something. Like, aren't you going to do something about your child? Like, this is so, he shouldn't be behaving like this. Where he then, picks his head up from this kind of a slumber that he was in, and looks at him with just this lost look, and he tells him, sorry, we just came back from a crash site that his mother, my wife, was in, and we had to identify the body. And it kind of like instantly shift his paradigm, right? His paradigm shift from being selfish and wanting a particular outcome or expectation within his reality, right? His reality was, hey, like, kids shouldn't act that way, or hey, like, why aren't you doing something? You should say something. Like, we can always do that, right? We're so quick to point out everybody else's flaws, right? We're so quick to point out everybody else's misdirection or misguidance or shortcomings. But yet we're so critical when we get identified with shortcomings, right? We're so quick to defend ourselves, or there's a biblical verse where it says, you're so focused on the speck in your brother's eye where you forget that you have a log in your own. And then there's another analogy that they say the reflection of your log in your eye is actually what you're seeing in them, but yet you can't see your own shortcomings and issues. You're so easily able to identify even the smallest speck or sliver of an issue with somebody else, rather how they talk, what they do, where they come from. And quick shout out to one of my buddies, Tech Sergeant Aaron Stubbs. He actually spoke about this in one of his motivational Monday motivational sessions that he goes over, and he really discussed the ability to understand that we all come from different backgrounds, different belief systems, different upcomings, and how we were raised. And what is normal to you is not normal to me, and what my normal is not normal to somebody else. And you might argue to say, oh, well, there's all, like, there's the fundamental ethics and morals. Like, you should not kill, you should not cheat, you should not do these things. And while I might agree with you there, we have to understand that if almost everything about ourselves as human beings is different, down to the color of our skin, our age, our wrinkles, our fingerprints, our identification, everything is different. Why are we so quick to assume and or want a particular outcome that generally, correct me if I'm wrong, is always favoring your own reality, your story, right? We're all Hollywood in our own lives. We're all this superstar, and this is our show, and it's how everyone else is just a supporting cast role for us to be the host. And it's really not that. And it's about changing that paradigm shift and having that perspective be flipped a little bit, because at the time, that gentleman on the train station was selfish, right? Until the paradigm shift occurred, he says this, and I want to quote it real quick. I highlighted it down. See, I saw things differently, and because I saw differently, I thought differently, and because I thought differently, I felt differently, and I behaved differently. Once our paradigm shifts correct or are incorrect, our sources and our attitudes and behaviors are ultimately our relationships with others. So how we perceive things, that paradigm shift and how we think someone should be or act or do, they become our relationships with others and who we associate with. But when you see things differently, you open yourself up to a whole new world, right? You begin to think differently, feel different, and behave differently, because those actions become, your emotions become your actions, and those actions just show you who you are. So again, check out this book. Again, shout out to Aaron Stubbs. Great guy, great motivation, motivated speaker. And if you haven't been able to, check out some of his content that he pushes out. But nonetheless, I just wanted to try to provide some value based off perspective, having that paradigm shift. Ask yourself a few questions. Once you went from that selfish mindset, step out and say, how can I help? How can I be a servant? How can I lead or assist them without some sort of praise or thing to be given back to you? Do it naturally because you're trying to get to know the other individual and or truly assist them. So yeah, hopefully you like my poem or my writing, as well as this content that I provided, and hopefully other resources that you can check out if you enjoy this information. Again, please comment, like, share, subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell at the top so you can get all my latest content that I provide every Friday. All right, I love you guys. Thank you so much, and enjoy your weekend.